I shouldn't have been there. Wrong wing. Wrong floor. I came for my cousin's stitches, that was all. Just a form signed. A hallway passed. But the moment I stepped in, it hit me. The scent, sharp. Wet pine after thunder. Charcoal smoke curling in the back of my throat. Sweet but dangerous. Wild but familiar. My knees almost gave out. My lungs forgot how to breathe. Time paused. Like everything in the hallway froze. Nurses blurred. Lights dimmed. My fingers tightened around the metal clipboard. My heart? It didn't thump, it shattered in slow motion. That scent? It was him. No, it couldn't be. I forced myself not to believe it. But my gland pulsed under my collarbone like it recognized him before I did. A soft throb. A shameful ache. Why now? After all these years, I stood there unmoving, afraid to turn. Afraid that if I moved even an inch, the bond I'd buried would crawl out from under my skin and scream. I closed my eyes, but scent is cruel. It doesn't need sight to haunt. It flooded my head, warm touches, desperate moans, broken whispers and heat. That one night I let myself be an omega. My breath hitched. The bite. I still remember it. Left shoulder. He hadn't gone deep. It wasn't a full claim. Not enough pressure. Not enough blood, but it left a mark. One I lied about. One I said was an accident. I told myself he didn't matter. That it was just heat. That we were just confused. That it was biology, not emotion. But my gland remembered. It throbbed again, harder this time, like a wound reopening. The footsteps echoed behind me. Slow, unhurried, familiar. He was coming this way. I should have walked away. But my feet, they were dead. I couldn't move. Couldn't think. My hands trembled and something deep inside me, some rotted, rejected part, ached to inhale more of him. My head turned before I gave it permission. And there he was. Tall, broader now. Hair shorter, still messy, eyes like winter, sharp, distant, too quiet. He wore a black shirt and hospital tag, lanyard twisted in his fist. His jaw clenched when our eyes met. He stopped, 3 feet away. The scent was stronger now. It curled around me, coated my skin, slipped into the cracks I thought I'd sealed. My glands sparked, traitorous, raw. I stepped. He didn't speak, just stared. Like he'd been expecting me for years. I wanted to say something cruel, something final. But nothing came out. Only silence. And the scent. You, I whispered. His eyes didn't change, but his scent did. Spiked. Wild. A quiet, angry bloom of old longing. I thought you left the city, he said finally. His voice, lower, rougher, like smoke dragged through gravel. I did, I managed. My throat was tight. Didn't think I'd see you here. You were supposed to stay gone. The words hit harder than they should have. Maybe because he was right. Maybe because I left without warning. Without closure. Without goodbye. I nodded. I didn't plan to stay. He stepped closer. Just one step. But the scent doubled. My stomach twisted. Why now? He asked. I laughed. Ugly. Hollow. It's not about you. His lips twitched. Still lying, I see. I'm not. You always were. Something cracked inside me. It was one night. One accident. You don't get. I do, he said, cutting me off. Because you begged me not to mark you. Because you kissed me after you ran. Because I waited, and you disappeared. My chest burned. I didn't ask you to wait. But I did. Silence again. The scent pulsed between us like a third presence. Alive, breathing. My gland was screaming now. I clenched my jaw, trying to suppress the heat climbing my neck. You're rutting? I asked before I could stop myself. He flinched. No, not yet, but close. He nodded once. You feel it too. No, I lied. His eyes narrowed. You always say that when your hands shake. I looked down. My fingers were trembling, betraying me. I hated how well he remembered me. Hated how much my body wanted to be remembered. I have to go, I said, but my feet still wouldn't move. He stepped closer again. This time I backed up, hit the wall. His voice dropped. You ran once. I let you. Don't test me again. Or what? I whispered, breath shallow. I'll send you in front of everyone. My skin exploded in heat. He wouldn't. He wouldn't. No. I opened my mouth to protest, but a nurse passed by. We both froze. I turned my head, shame rising in my throat. You wouldn't dare, I said under my breath. He leaned in, barely a breath between us. His voice grazed my ear like silk over flame. Try me. I shoved him back weakly. My body betrayed me. Again, he didn't resist. He stepped away, but the fire lingered. I won't crawl back, I said. He smirked, something wild in his eyes. Then teach me, he whispered, how to stop waiting. And just like that, he walked away. But his scent stayed crawling over my skin, under my clothes, into my bones. I stood there long after he disappeared, fingers still shaking, heart still not breathing. I hated him. I hated myself more, because I already knew I wasn't going to run this time. I was 17, too young, too scared, too broken to understand what my body wanted, or what it meant when an alpha scent made me shake like that. I told myself it was the heat, just biology, a chemical accident, but that night, the truth is, I let it happen. The first time I smelled him, really smelled him, it felt like drowning. Something primal clawed out of my chest, something I didn't have words for. His scent wrapped around me and I let it pull me under. I didn't fight, I wanted to be claimed. Even when I cried, it wasn't from pain. Even when I begged him to stop, it wasn't because I meant it, but I panicked when it was over. When the fever broke and I saw the blood on his neck from my bite. When I saw his eyes, too soft, too full, I hated it, that he looked at me like I mattered. So I ran. He called. I didn't pick up. He knocked. I hid. I left town, burned bridges, changed phones, changed cities, changed my name on the registrar. I told my friends it was an attack, told my mother I was drugged, told myself it was survival, but that was a lie. I wasn't escaping danger. I was escaping guilt, because I used him. Let him scent me, touch me, whisper things in the dark like I was his. And when morning came, I acted like he was a mistake, like he was the one who ruined me. But truth? He didn't mark me. Not fully. He held back, even when I begged him not to. Even when his rut clouded everything, he never crossed the line. I was the one who begged first. I was the one who touched his scent gland. I pulled him in, and then I threw him away. I buried him like heat memory, one that never made it to the surface again. Until yesterday. Until that corridor. Until those damned hospital lights and antiseptic air couldn't hide his scent. He didn't say much then, but the way he looked at me, like nothing changed. Like he still remembered every breath I took. Like his gland never forgot mine. I thought I would be stronger now. Older, sharper, more immune. But my body lied to me. It ached when I saw him. Not just in the physical way. Not just my gland pulsing or my scent shifting. No, it was worse than that. It was grief. Like I was mourning something that never even had a name. When I went home last night, I couldn't sleep. I kept touching the back of my neck like his scent was still there. Like his heat still soaked into my skin. I tried washing it off. Didn't work. I tried using blockers. Didn't help. I laid on the cold floor of my shower, back pressed to tile, biting down on my wrist so I wouldn't scream. My gland buzzed under my skin like a warning, but I wanted it. I wanted to feel his scent again. I hated myself for it. I stared at the ceiling for hours, remembering his voice, remembering how he once said, "You smell like spring just before it rains." Like that was romantic. Like he meant it. Maybe he did, but I never gave him the chance to say more. And now the past had claws, and it followed me. I walked into the pharmacy this morning to restock my suppressants, and there was a new display in front of the counter. Something stupid, a line of scent-neutral colognes for omegas going through heat recovery. I reached for the lavender one, but something inside me rebelled. I dropped it, shards scattered across the floor. The pharmacist looked up, annoyed. I couldn't even apologize. I just stood there watching the pale purple oil spread across the tile like bruised memories. That scent, artificial chemical, dead. It wasn't his, and my body knew. I left without buying anything. My gland burned all the way home. Every hallway I walked down, I expected him to be behind me. Every echo of boots made my shoulders stiffen. My instincts, the ones I spent years killing, were alive again. He did this to me. Without even touching me. Just one look. Just 1 second of standing near him, and everything I buried came back. And I hated how much I wanted to go back to that night. I told myself it was biology. Muscle memory. Nothing more. But when I closed my eyes, I didn't remember the heat. I remembered his fingers brushing the tear off my cheek. I remembered how soft his voice got when I shook. Like he was scared too. Like he didn't want to break me. And still, I left him in rut. Alone. Desperate. He didn't chase me. Maybe he was scared. Maybe he didn't know how. Maybe I broke something he didn't know how to fix. But I saw it yesterday. In his eyes. The crack. Still open. Still raw. He looked at me like I owed him. Like I was a ghost he kept loving even after it stopped being fair. And I wasn't ready for that. I don't think I am ready. But something inside me is waking up. Slowly. Cruelly. My gland is stirring. My scent is shifting. And every breath I take now feels like a countdown. To what? I don't know. But I think he does. And I think he's been waiting. The siren started when I was halfway down the hall. Sharp, metallic blares. Too loud. Too sudden. Lights blinked red. I stopped moving, frozen in place as the overhead speaker crackled. Emergency lockdown initiated. Please evacuate to your assigned zone. Assigned zone. I didn't have one. I wasn't even supposed to be here. I glanced back at the stairwell. People were already running. Scrubs. Badges. Chaos. I had no direction. No place. Just instinct pulling me toward the one place I thought would be quiet. The generator room. I ducked in, heart pounding, throat tight. The heavy door creaked as I closed it behind me. My fingers brushed the switch on the inside. Darkness swallowed the room for a moment, only to be replaced by dull yellow backup lights overhead. Dim. Warm. Humming. The silence pressed against my chest. I leaned against the wall, trying to breathe. Just a drill. I told myself. Just a system error. It would be over in 10 minutes. I didn't know I'd locked myself inside my own undoing. The door creaked again. Slammed. And I knew, without turning, without breathing, it was him. His scent rolled in like storm tide. Aggressive, bittersweet. Pinwood soaked in sweat. Smoke curling in rain. My stomach flipped. My chest collapsed. My gland, dormant for years, twitched like a dying thing waking from coma. He didn't speak, but I felt him. His presence. The heat of it. I turned slowly, my back pressed to the wall. My eyes adjusted to the low light. And there he was, standing just inside the doorway, one hand still on the handle, breathing slow, controlled, like he expected this, like he wanted this. What are you doing here? My voice broke. He didn't answer, just tilted his head slightly. The muscles in his jaw tensed. I stepped sideways, small, careful. My fingers grazed the wall behind me, searching for balance. Don't, I whispered, voice trembling. Don't do this. He took one step forward. Just one. But it was enough. My knees buckled slightly. The scent hit harder now. Unfiltered. My body reacted before my mind could catch up. Skin flushed. Breath shallow. Gland pulsing traitorously. You came here, he said quietly. I didn't know, but still, you came. His voice was low, almost gentle, but there was an edge in it. Something wounded. Something wild. I didn't come for you, but you ran here. I swallowed hard. Coincidence. His eyes darkened. There's no such thing between us. I wanted to argue, wanted to tell him he was wrong, that he was imagining everything, that the scent didn't mean what he thought it meant. But I couldn't lie, not with my body already betraying me. Heat was crawling beneath my skin, subtle but rising. My fingertips tingled, my knees weakened. My mouth was dry, but I could still taste him in the air. That same memory scent from years ago, but stronger now, sharper. Are you in rut? I asked, voice barely above a whisper. His eyes didn't waver. Not yet, but close. He nodded once. And you didn't take your suppressants. I stopped last week. My heart dropped. Why? I whispered. He stepped closer. You said you never wanted to see me again. I believed you. For a while. I stared at him. So this is revenge? No, he said. This is inevitability. I backed up again, but the wall didn't give me anywhere else to go. His scent, it curled around me now. Thicker. Denser. Like invisible hands pulling at my skin, my hair, my throat, my gland burned. I bit the inside of my cheek. Don't come closer, I said. He paused, and then said quietly, You're shaking. I'm not. You are. I hated him for noticing. He took one more step, and then another. I turned my face away, but that only exposed the side of my neck. My scent gland. He noticed. I felt it the exact second he saw it. The space between us closed in like a trap. His hand raised. No, no, no. But I didn't stop him. Fingertips brushed the skin beneath my jaw. Featherlight, then just barely over the edge of my gland. It was like fire. No. It was worse. It was memory. My body shivered not from fear but from recognition. The kind that lives in blood. In scent. In heat. A soft sound escaped my throat. I hated myself for it. Your gland, he murmured, it's waking. I grabbed his wrist. Stop. But my grip was weak. His scent was everywhere now. Under my nails, in my lungs, soaking into my clothes. I'm not yours, I said, voice cracking. You were. Once. You still are. I left you. You ran, he said. But your scent stayed. I let go of his wrist. My hand fell limp against my side. His fingers lingered on my gland. Not pressing. Not claiming. Just feeling. I dreamt of this, he whispered. Every time I woke up alone. My chest ached. His fingers slid lower, brushing the edge of my collar. My breath caught, and then without warning he leaned in, not close enough to kiss, but close enough that I could feel the warmth of his mouth near my neck. My gland flared. My scent spiked. I gasped. He didn't touch me. Not fully, but that was worse. I clenched my fists. Please, he pulled back slightly. Enough to meet my eyes. You want me to stop? Yes. Say it. I just did. No, he said. Say it without shaking. I looked down. Couldn't say it again. My body wanted him. But my heart, it was still bleeding. Don't mark me, I said instead. He nodded. I won't. You promise? I swear. I believed him. And that scared me more than anything. I sank slowly to the floor, my back still against the wall. My legs couldn't hold me anymore. The heat was rising too fast. He followed. Sat beside me. Left enough distance so we weren't touching. But his scent, it didn't leave any space. We sat in silence, breathing. My heartbeat thudded in my ears. My body was betraying every lie I told myself. Every wall I built, it cracked just by being near him. I glanced sideways. He was staring ahead. Not touching, not speaking. Just there. Waiting. I hated you, I whispered. I know. I still do. He smiled faintly. But your gland doesn't. I closed my eyes. Don't use that against me. I won't. I don't forgive you. He didn't answer. I don't forgive myself either, I added. Finally, he looked at me. His voice was softer than I remembered. Then let's not forgive, he said. Let's just stay here, like this, for a while. I should have stood up. I should have walked out the moment the alarm stopped. But I didn't. I leaned my head back against the wall, closed my eyes, and breathed him in. My gland pulsed once more. Steady now. Awake. A signal. Maybe it wasn't forgiveness, but it was the beginning of something I couldn't stop anymore. Not when he was this close. Not when my body had already chosen. The air changed. It wasn't gradual. It wasn't gentle. It hit like a second heartbeat in the room. Loud and pulsing. Heavy. Burning. His scent, sharp, smoky pine twisted with raw heat, suddenly filled every breath I took. It wasn't just scent anymore. It was rut. My eyes widened. I stumbled back. He flinched too, like his own body shocked him. Like he didn't expect it this fast. His hand grabbed the edge of the table, but his legs, they gave out first. Hard. Knees hit concrete with a thud. He was trembling. I saw his jaw tighten, lips part slightly, breath erratic. His alpha gland was pulsing just under the skin. I could see it now. His scent gland glowed faint under the yellow light, like a warning signal, one that screamed danger. But I didn't feel fear. I felt heat, deep, sinking, slow. My own gland responded before I wanted it to. The small tremor under my collar. I gasped, reached up, pressing down over it, like that would stop it from blooming. It didn't. My scent spiked sweet, nervous, bitter at the edges. It clashed with his. The room felt like it was closing in. He hunched over, fingers digging into his chest like he was trying to tear it open. I don't want to hurt you. His voice cracked. I didn't mean to rut here. I didn't answer. I couldn't. I turned away, tried to face the wall. I needed cold. I needed distance. I needed to not smell him. But every breath made it worse. My gland throbbed like it remembered something I forced it to forget. That night, his heat, his mouth, his scent pressing down on me like gravity. I bit my lower lip. Hard. Behind me, I heard fabric dragging across the floor. Movement. A soft grunt. I turned my head. He was crawling forward. Not fast. Not aggressive. But desperate. Sweat clung to his skin. His eyes were low, not meeting mine. He looked broken. Like this wasn't rut. Like this was punishment. His forehead touched the ground. Right in front of me. I'm not asking for forgiveness, he whispered. Just say it again. Please. I blinked. Say what? That you hate me. My throat closed. He didn't lift his head. His body was curled. Arms shaking. Just say it. Make it true. I couldn't. I tried. The words were right there. I hate you. But they didn't come out. Because right now, in this scent, in this heat, in this moment, I didn't hate him. I hated myself more. I hated how part of me wanted to kneel with him. How part of me wanted to run fingers through his hair and whisper that I never stopped feeling that night. That I dreamt of this. Of him. Of us. But I stayed standing. Barely. My legs were weak. My spine trembled. He raised his head slowly. Eyes dark with scent fog but not gone. Not animal. Still him. I waited so long, he said. Years. I told myself you'd come back. Even when you didn't, I still believed. I thought maybe if I saw you again, I'd pretend none of it mattered. He paused. But it did. I felt something snap inside me. Like a thread. Thin. Holding back too much for too long. I knelt down. My knees hit the floor across from him. Not close. But not far anymore. His gaze locked on me. Not with hunger. With regret. You should leave, he said. Voice hoarse. I can't. I whispered. The door's locked. That's not what I meant. I know. He exhaled. Harsh. His shoulders slumped. Like he finally gave up trying to fight it. I don't want to touch you like this, he said. Not unless you want me to. My eyes stung. Not because of scent. Because of him. The same alpha who could have taken everything that night. But didn't. The same alpha now on his knees, begging for permission he didn't even expect to be given. My hand moved on its own. Shaking. It reached forward. Slowly. Every inch felt like a mile. Then it stopped just before it touched his face. I can't forget you, I said. I tried. But I can't. His eyes closed. And then he leaned in. His breath ghosted over my scent gland. Not touching. Just close. So close. I held still. Then with one trembling movement, he pressed his lips there. Soft. Barely pressure. Not a claim. Not a mark. Just memory. I cried. Silently. No sobs. Just tears falling without control. Because in that 1 second I remembered everything. His hands holding me like I'd break. His voice whispering, I'll stop if you want me to. His scent wrapping around me like a home I never believed I deserved. He pulled back, but I followed. My forehead pressed to his. We stayed there breathing each other in. 2 glands buzzing. 2 hearts not saying what needed to be said. I wanted to hate you, I whispered. But you never gave me enough reason. You left. I was scared. I was broken. I still am. He nodded slightly. Me too. We stayed like that. Heat coiling around us. But still not touching. Not fully. Not yet. Because this wasn't rut anymore. This was collision. I thought about bonding with someone else, he said. Thought it might fix me. Did it? No. Why? Because they didn't smell like you. I choked on air. He brushed a tear from my cheek with his thumb. I won't ask for anything, he said. Not now. Not when I'm like this. But if you still feel anything, I'll wait. You already did. He smiled faintly. Then I'll wait again. My gland pulsed again. My scent thickened with something warm, golden. I leaned forward. This time I touched his shoulder. Let it pass. I said, let the rut pass. And then we'll talk. His eyes widened slightly. You promise? I'm here, aren't I? He exhaled. Something like relief. Something like surrender. And then he rested his head on my shoulder, not to take, just to breathe. We stayed like that, on the floor, in the heat, in the scent of old guilt and new forgiveness. Not mates, not strangers. Just two broken things trying not to ruin each other again. And in that quiet, I realized, maybe I was done running. I ran, again. I didn't wait for the lights to turn green, didn't stop to breathe, didn't check the time. My bag half-zipped, passport crumpled in my pocket, my scent still stained with him. The hospital hallway behind me blurred. My steps were loud, too loud, echoing off sterile white walls. But I kept going. Out. Far. Away. As if distance could erase what was already under my skin. The city looked colder today. Wind sharp. My jacket too thin, but I didn't feel it. My body was burning from the inside. Still trembling from last night. From his breath on my gland. From the memory of his head in my lap. Whispering things I couldn't unhear. I should have stayed, but I also should have left years ago. Nothing made sense. I boarded the first train to the city center, changed twice, walked blindly until my feet hurt, ended up at the edge of the station, south platform. Not busy, not quiet either. I sat down, cold metal seat under me. My hands didn't stop shaking. I tried to focus on the announcements. Trains delayed, departures flashing, people moving with purpose. Everyone had somewhere to go. I didn't. I just needed to stop breathing him. But he was still in me, everywhere. My wrist still smelled faintly like his fingers. My throat like his breath. My clothes soaked in scent that wasn't mine. I rubbed at my neck harder, tried to scrub it off. Didn't work. The mark wasn't even visible. He didn't bite. Didn't claim. Didn't touch me in that way. But it felt like a claim. Invisible. Deep. My gland pulsed again. I closed my eyes. Inhaled through my nose. Wrong idea. His scent was still there, like firewood and wet pine and memory. It clung like ash after fire. And I hated how much I wanted more. I buried my face in my hands, tried to press my emotions down into the space between ribs, where I hide things I don't want to feel. But even that space had his name now. Someone sat beside me. I flinched. A woman, talking on the phone, laughing. She glanced at me, then paused. Her nose wrinkled. The scent. I realized too late my own scent was leaking. Unstable, unprotected, suppressants fading. I stood up quickly, walked down the platform, head low, heart louder than footsteps. I stopped near the far railing, watching the tracks. Train coming in 5 minutes. 5 minutes and I'd be gone. Gone where? I didn't know. Somewhere he wouldn't find me. But I was wrong, because I felt it. Before I saw him, the air thickened, heavy, magnetic, dangerous. Voices around me changed. I heard it, the subtle shift. Heads turned. Conversations broke. Silence like a held breath. Then scent. Not just any scent. Hit. Unfiltered. Raw. Like wildfire. No suppressant. No shame. Just him. Rain-soaked. Burnt pine. Rut-laced. I turned slowly. And there he was. Across the platform. Standing still. His shirt stuck to his chest from the rain. His hair was a mess. Eyes glassy. Wild. He looked like someone who'd been chasing something in a storm and finally saw it standing still. Me. My throat closed. He didn't shout. Didn't run. He walked. Each step loud. Firm. Direct. I should have moved. But I couldn't. My feet frozen. My scent flaring. My body reacting before thought. He reached me in seconds. People watched. I heard them whisper. Felt their stares. An alpha in rut. An omega unclaimed. Dangerous. Scandalous. But he didn't care. He stepped close. Too close. His hand reached out, not rough. Not forced. Just shaking. Fingers curled around my wrist. Not pulling. just holding. Like if he let go, I'd vanish again. I told you, he whispered, voice hoarse. You can run. His grip tightened just a little. But I'll scent you every time. I trembled. I wanted to say something. Anything. But my voice was gone. My gland pulsed beneath my skin. My scent spiked in surrender. It wasn't heat yet, but it was close. So close. I saw it in his eyes, the flicker of struggle. His rut, it wasn't finished. I felt the fever in his palm, the way his jaw clenched. His body was breaking apart, trying not to grab me. Then suddenly, his knees buckled. He collapsed, right there, in front of everyone. A loud thud. I gasped. He fell to the floor, one hand still on my wrist, the other gripping his own shirt like it would stop the pain. His scent exploded. Strong, hot, claustrophobic. People around us backed away. Someone screamed. A man shouted for security. But I dropped down before anyone could reach him. No, no, don't touch him, I snapped, shielding him. His breath was short. Sweat poured down his temples. He looked like he hadn't slept, like he'd walked miles in the rain, just to find me. His eyes found mine, fevered. But still, him. I'm okay, he lied. No, you're not, I said. You didn't finish your rut, didn't want to finish without you. My chest broke. I held his face in my palms. Idiot, I whispered. He smiled faintly. Yours, he breathed. And then, he fainted. His head slumped forward. People circled. Voices shouted. But I couldn't hear them anymore. My whole world was one scent. One fevered alpha. One broken promise I left behind and now couldn't walk away from again. I screamed for help. Guards came. Medics rushed in. They pulled him onto a stretcher. I followed. My body moved before I thought. Back into the chaos. Back into his orbit. And this time, I didn't run. He was asleep when I walked into the hospital room. Monitors beeped softly. His chest rose and fell, slow and uneven. The scent in the room was faint now. Sterilized, filtered, but I could still smell traces of rut underneath. His scent, dulled by medicine, still held that same weight. I didn't plan to stay. I told myself I'd just check, make sure he was breathing, then leave. But I didn't leave. I sat down beside the bed. My hands shook, so I held them under my thighs. Tried not to think. But thoughts came anyway. Why did I follow him here? Why didn't I let them take him away without me? Why did I sit all night watching him sleep, waiting for him to open his eyes? I didn't know. Or maybe I did. The door stayed closed. The world outside paused. Just me and him in silence that wasn't heavy this time. When he finally stirred, the first thing he did was whisper my name. My throat tightened. You're awake. His eyes fluttered open, red-rimmed, fevered still, but clearer. Soft. You stayed, he said. Voice dry, barely audible. I know. Why? I didn't answer, because I didn't know how to say it. That watching him collapse rewired something in me. That the way he looked at me, even while burning up, even while half unconscious, wasn't with anger, but longing. He shifted, tried to sit up, winced. I reached forward before thinking, helped him lean back against the pillows. My hand brushed his wrist. His skin was warm. He looked at me, gaze heavy. I thought I lost you, he said. You did. Then why? You didn't move on, I whispered. His breath caught. How do you know? You told me, I said. Even before you spoke. He looked away, jaw tight. So I continued, softer. You didn't bond with anyone. No. You didn't scent another Omega. Never. Silence again. I studied his face. Older now. Worn. But still carrying the same expression I remembered from that night, the one that scared me most. The one that loved me. I thought if I stayed away long enough, I said slowly, I'd forget what it felt like. That one night. His fingers curled on the blanket. Did you? I shook my head. No. His shoulders relaxed. Just a little. But his eyes turned away again. Guilt wrapped around him like a second blanket. There's something I didn't tell you, he murmured. I waited. He swallowed hard. I stopped taking suppressants. On purpose. I blinked. What? Last week, he said. Voice lower now. I stopped. I knew you were in the city. Someone from the hospital told me. I didn't know if you'd come near me. But I wanted you to smell me. Even just once. My stomach dropped. That day at the corridor, I whispered. He nodded. It wasn't an accident. Silence fell again. But it wasn't empty this time. It was thick with truth. You manipulated it, I said. Yes. Why? His eyes met mine again. And this time no lies. Because I knew your gland would remember before your heart ever admitted it. My breath shook. He continued. I didn't want to force you. I just wanted to remind you. Of me. Of what we could have been. What we were. I looked down at my hands. I thought I'd be angry if you ever said something like this. And are you? I stayed silent for a moment. Then said no. He blinked. Because somewhere in me. I paused, throat tightening. I already knew. He reached for my wrist again. This time slower. Ask. I let him. Our skin touched. Familiar. Warm. Painful. I never wanted to hurt you, he said. But I wanted to be remembered. Even if it meant crossing a line. You didn't cross it. I replied. You just stood right at the edge. He nodded slowly. I told myself I could handle it. That if you still walked away after this I'd let you go. For real this time. I looked at him. Eyes tired. Honest. Full. I leaned forward. My fingers brushed his cheek. You're an idiot, I whispered. He smiled faintly. I know. I still hate you. I know. But I don't want to forget you again. His breath caught. I leaned closer. And this time I tilted my head. Exposed my gland. His hand trembled. Are you sure? He asked. I'm here, aren't I? His mouth brushed my gland. Gently. Slow. No bite. No claim. Just warmth. Just scent. Just us. I closed my eyes. And this time, I didn't run.